What if the old penny sitting in your pocket right now is secretly worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars? Most people never look twice at wheat Lincoln pennies, but hidden among ordinary coins are rare treasures collectors are desperately hunting for today. And in this video, I'm revealing the top three most valuable wheat Lincoln pennies from 1941, 1945, and the legendary 1957 D coins that shocked the coin world with unbelievable prices. But here's the crazy part. One of these coins was discovered by accident. Another has a hidden error almost nobody notices. And one rare version could turn a single 1-cent coin into a life-changing payday. These coins still appear in old jars, piggy banks, inherited collections, and even pocket change, which means someone watching this video could actually have one without knowing it. You need to watch until the very end because the final coin on this list is the rarest and most dangerous to ignore. A tiny detail, almost invisible to the naked eye, can mean the difference between a worthless penny and a coin worth thousands of dollars. I'll show you exactly what to look for. The secret mint marks collectors chase, the hidden errors that multiply value fast, and why these wheat Lincoln pennies continue breaking records in the collector market. Before you spend another old penny, make sure you watch every second of this video, because the next coin you overlook could be the rare hidden treasure everyone else missed. Most people would walk right past this coin without a second glance. A dusty old 1941 wheat Lincoln penny. 1 cent, barely enough to matter in today's world. But what if I told you that one tiny penny hiding in an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or even your pocket change could be worth up to $460,000? Sounds impossible, until you understand the secret collectors are desperately searching for. In 1901, millions of wheat pennies were produced by the United States Mint during one of the most intense periods in American history. But among those ordinary coins, a few rare error versions slipped through the cracks. And those mistakes turned simple copper pennies into legendary treasures. The most valuable 1941 wheat pennies are the ones with dramatic minting errors. Collectors hunt for doubled lettering, off-center strikes, and rare proof-like surfaces that should never have existed on circulation coins. Some examples also show strange die cracks and ghost-like doubling around Lincoln's face in the words, "In God We Trust." To the average person, it looks ordinary. To a collector, it looks like hidden wealth. Now here's the part that should make you stop and check your change. Many of these coins were never pulled from circulation. They were spent at grocery stores, dropped into vending machines, and forgotten for decades, which means one could still be out there right now. Take a close look at every 1941 wheat penny you find. Check the date carefully. Look for unusual doubling or strange marks, because the difference between an ordinary penny and a life-changing payday could be one tiny detail most people never notice. And remember, on wheat pennies, every coin has a story, but some stories are worth a fortune. Most people will never become rich because they spend their fortune before they even recognize it. Somewhere in America right now, a tiny copper coin is sitting in a dusty jar, trapped between ordinary pennies, waiting for someone with sharp enough eyes to notice what everyone else missed. And the terrifying part is this: that coin could be worth $670,000. Not a gold bar, not a rare diamond, a single 1957 D wheat Lincoln penny. Before you dismiss this as another impossible treasure story, listen carefully, because the coin we are talking about today is real, and a handful of collectors have spent years hunting for it. Some believe more examples are still hiding in circulation, buried inside old family collections, forgotten piggy banks, or tucked away in rusty coffee cans sitting in garages across the country. The question is simple. Have you already spent one without knowing it? Back in 1957, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln wheat pennies. Most were completely ordinary, small copper coins designed to disappear into pockets, vending machines, and cash registers. Nobody expected these pennies to become valuable. Nobody imagined one tiny minting mistake could turn an everyday cent into something collectors would fight over decades later. But somewhere during production, a small number of 1957 D pennies were struck with a dramatic double die error, and not the weak kind you need a microscope to see. This doubling is bold. aggressive, almost ghost-like. The letters appear duplicated. The date looks slightly distorted. Lincoln's features carry an unnatural shadow. It is the kind of mistake that makes experienced collectors stop breathing for a second when they spot it. Now here is where the story becomes dangerous for ordinary people. Most Americans do not examine their coins. They spend them automatically. A rare penny could pass through 10 different hands in a single week without anyone realizing its true value. That is how treasures survive in circulation for decades. Not because they are invisible, but because people are distracted. Right now, I want you to think about the last handful of pennies you ignored, the coins sitting in your car cup holder, the loose change near your washing machine, the old jar hidden in your kitchen cabinet. Somewhere inside that pile could be a coin capable of changing your entire financial future. Most people will never check. That is why most people stay broke while collectors quietly hunt for opportunities everyone else overlooks. The 1957 D wheat penny already has historical significance because it belongs to the final years of the famous wheat cent design before the Lincoln Memorial reverse replaced it in 1959. But the rare error versions exist in a completely different universe. Professional grading companies have authenticated only a tiny number of elite specimens with strong doubling and exceptional condition. Those are the coins wealthy collectors chase aggressively at auctions. One high-grade example shocked the numismatic world when private offers reportedly climbed towards $670,000. Think about that for a moment. A coin originally worth 1 cent becoming valuable enough to buy a luxury home. That is the insanity of rarity. In the world of coin collecting, one small mistake can create generational wealth. But here is the part almost nobody tells you. Finding the coin is only half the battle. If you ever discover a suspicious 1957 D penny, do not clean it, do not polish it, do not scrape it with baking soda or chemicals trying to make it shiny. Every year, valuable coins lose massive amounts of money because inexperienced people damage the original surfaces. Collectors pay for authenticity, not artificial shine. Instead, hold the coin carefully by the edges. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and study the lettering closely. Look for obvious doubling on the date and inscriptions. If something feels strange, trust your instincts and contact a professional grading company immediately. And here is the truth that separates collectors from everyone else. Wealth is often hiding in plain sight. Most people walk past opportunity because it looks ordinary at first glance. A millionaire collector sees value where others see pocket change. That mindset is powerful far beyond coins. Tonight, before you go to sleep, check your pennies. Open the old jars. Search the forgotten drawers. Because somewhere out there, another 1957 D wheat Lincoln penny is still hiding, waiting for the one person curious enough to stop and look. And if that person happens to be you, one ordinary cent could become the most important discovery of your life. You are about to hear the story of a penny so ordinary that millions of people have ignored it for decades. Yet one rare version of this tiny copper coin has been valued at nearly $340,000. Think about that for a second. A single cent, something most people throw into malls, leave in parking lots, or hand to cashiers without even looking. But somewhere out there, hidden in an old coin collection, buried inside a dusty piggy bank, or resting quietly in a forgotten coffee can, a 1945 wheat Lincoln penny could be waiting to change someone's life forever. Most people never become wealthy because they never slow down long enough to notice opportunity. They walk past treasure every single day. Collectors are different. Collectors understand that value often hides inside the smallest details. And that is exactly why the rare 1945 wheat penny has become one of the most hunted coins in America. Now let's go back to 1905. World War II was finally coming to an end. America was exhausted but hopeful. Factories were running day and night, soldiers were returning home, and the United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln wheat pennies for a growing economy. On the surface, the 1945 penny looked completely ordinary. It carried Abraham Lincoln on the front and the classic wheat stalk design on the reverse. Nothing unusual, nothing dramatic, just another 1-cent coin moving through American hands. But hidden among those billions of pennies were a few mysterious errors that slipped through the mint unnoticed. And those mistakes turned simple pocket change into legendary treasures. One of the most valuable versions is the 1945 double die error penny. At first glance, it looks normal, but under magnification, the lettering appears doubled, especially around the words liberty and in God we trust. This happened when the coin die accidentally received multiple impressions at slightly different angles during production. The result was a ghost-like doubling effect that collectors obsess over today. And here's where things become incredible. Some of these rare 1945 double die pennies were spent like ordinary coins for decades. People bought coffee with them. Kids carried them in their pockets. Some were tossed into junk drawers and forgotten forever. Imagine unknowingly spending a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars on a soda. Now here is the detail you need to remember. A normal 1945 wheat penny is usually worth only a few cents or a few dollars depending on condition. But if you find one with strong doubling, unusual strike features, or an extremely rare minting error in pristine condition, the value can explode. High-grade examples with dramatic errors have stunned collectors at auction, with private sales and elite collector demand pushing values toward the $340,000 range. That number sounds impossible until you understand how rarity works. Wealthy collectors are not buying metal. They are buying history, mistakes, and exclusivity. The rarer the coin, the more intense the competition becomes. And when two serious collectors want the same coin, prices stop making sense. Here's the crazy part. Many rare coins are still out there hiding in plain sight. Most people never check their pennies carefully. They see dirt, copper, and old dates. A collector sees clues. That difference in mindset changes everything. So right now, I want you to think about where your old coins are. Maybe there's a bear sitting in your kitchen. Maybe your grandparents left behind an old box of pennies. Maybe there's a forgotten collection in your attic collecting dust. Go look, seriously, because every year valuable coins are accidentally spent, lost, or thrown away simply because nobody recognized what they were holding. And if you ever find a suspicious 1945 wheat penny, do not clean it. Never polish it. Never scrub it with chemicals or cloth. A cleaned coin can lose most of its value instantly. Leave it exactly as you found it and have it authenticated by a professional grading service. The truth is, hidden wealth still exists in America's pocket change. Most people are simply too distracted to notice it, but collectors notice. Hunters notice. And sometimes the difference between an ordinary day and a life-changing discovery is nothing more than a second glance at a single penny. Before you spend another coin, take a closer look, because the next wheat penny you find might not be worth 1 cent, it might be worth a fortune.